record.
Oh, shoot.
I have now hit record. Let's start over. I'm
Okay.
sorry I'm going to make you say all that again.
No, now I'll say that.
So everybody, this is Tamara from Moogly, and she is also a Stitch ambassador for Red Heart. And you were telling us a little bit about the transition, or sorry, you are the Stitch ambassador for Yarnspirations now. And you were telling us a little bit about the transition when you went from Red Heart to Yarnspirations, and Yarnspirations bought out Red Heart.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to make you repeat it, but
this time maybe I'll have it more succinctly. Basically, I was just saying, yeah, when I first heard the news, you know, I was worried, as anybody would be. I think when you find out, you know, a company you work with very closely is getting bought out by another company or a company you work for, you know, you're obviously worried about, like, what does this mean for me? Even wider, I was worried about what it meant for the yarn industry. You know, I mean, it's shrinkage in a way. It's one less company in a way out there. And you know, variety is good. We all love to have a variety of yarns.
right.
But I will say I've really enjoyed working with them. They've been wonderful to work with. I've been up to Canada, been to their office up there. It's awesome. Very cool. And one of the things that I've really been impressed by is, you know, Yarnspirations is Spin Right. They have Red Heart, they have Karen, they have Bernat, they have Patons, they have Alicia Gun Cream, they have Handicrafter, which I guess is Bernat too. I don't know why I always keep that one separate in my head. But they have Sugar Bush, they have all these, you know, all these imprints, but they really let each one of those keep its personality. You know,
That's cool.
Really say, we know that Red Heart, people who love Red Heart, you know, this is what they love, this is what inspires them, and they really kind of keep, I don't want to say they keep them separate, but they acknowledge that each group of those and each yarn kind of has its own personality.
Yeah.
And they really try to honor that. So I've been really impressed.
Cool.
That's like a major part of their plans. It's always like, well, this yarn, we know, you know, this is what this is awesome for, and this yarn is awesome for this. So it's been really cool, actually.
Well, and that was one thing that I was worried about on the other end. When you guys transitioned, is Red Heart has always been amazing working with designers. I mean, like, really, you guys are awesome. And I was like, oh no, now it's going to Yarnspirations. I have no relationship yet with Yarnspirations. I think I've only worked with them once. Am I still going to be able to get the yarn I want for projects? Am I still going to, you know, am I going to run into issues? And oh my God, I have to show you, I just got yarn. I got so much yarn. I got this.
So wait for mine.
yarn. I got Huga Fur.
Nice.
And I got With Love. Now, these are actually two separate projects, but I'm going to use the yarn over both projects. And I'm giving it away. This is for a pet bed. So I'm going to put the fur on the top of the bed, and I'm going to do the sides in With Love. And then I got more With Love solid color, so I can do some stripes in that. The main thing for this, I'm going to do a set of pet stairs, because my dog has a bed that's raised up high, and I want her to be able to climb up into it. And I thought I'd do chevrons, so it's like arrows going up.
Awesome. That's
yeah,
so cool.
so I'm going to try it, but yeah, I had no problem reaching out and getting that. So it's like nothing has changed on our end, and I'm so happy for that, because we do so much with you guys. But you are getting to try all sorts of different yarns now.
Yes, and that was that was the most exciting part. That was my first questions, you know, when things started transitioning and we get on the phone, I'd be like, so does this mean I get to use everything now?
Right.
Like, yes, absolutely. All of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, Red Heart had an amazing selection of yarns before, but there's always, you know, you see that one over there and you're like, that one's pretty cool. I really wish I could do something with it. Right. Now I can all these yarns. It was almost too much at first. I was like, okay, guys, I need something to narrow it down. So many. I was like, what do you want me to focus on first? Because there's so many options.
Right.
I don't know if I'll ever get to all of them, honestly. You know, there's just so many.
That's a lot.
But I love that.
You're using one that I haven't heard of before. You were telling me about the Patons Hempster.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of it right here. I just happened to be talking about it recently. Yeah, I just came out. Oops, sorry. Not used where the camera is on the iPad. It's probably backwards. But yeah, this is it. You can
No, it's not backwards.
Oh, it isn't? Okay, it is for me. So who knows? But you can see it's a hemp and cotton blend. Yes, 55% hemp, 45% cotton. And so it's got that, you know, a little bit stiffer, you know, linen-y almost feel, I guess hemp. And it's not shiny, but it's got amazing stitch definition. And I don't think I'd put like a sweat. I wouldn't make a sweater out of it because it does have that feel. If you wanted something lightweight, because this is a lightweight yarn, it's a 3, I would recommend Patons Grace for garment.
I used that for a shawl long time ago, and it's all,
Yeah, but for accessories,
Mm-hmm.
So this is my most recent pattern, and I use the Patons Hempster in it. A rainbow bag, happiness, and you can see the bobbles. You can see just that stitch definition.
Yeah, it's very cotton-like. Now, does it stretch like cotton? Because cotton can sometimes stretch when
stretch. It does have some stretch, and that's why I kept the handles of this short, because I knew they were going to stretch. So I just started them short, built it in.
That's smart.
It goes the right length.
Yeah, that's smart.
Put my hair enough times, it'll stretch it out. But I like because I like making totes, but they're always so tall.
Right.
You know, everything just falls to the bottom.
Right.
So I made this one shorter and wider. The bottom's really wide.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of brought it in at the top. So I feel like it's almost a more practical, you know, everyday. I'm calling it an everyday tote, you know?
Everyday tote. It's almost like a handbag. I mean, if you just put a zipper in the top, you could make it a handbag.
You could. Absolutely. Yeah. And somebody asked me if you could line it. I'm like, go for it. I didn't line mine, but that's yours. Nothing's stopping you.
Except my lack of sewing skills.
Well, I have a blog post where I talked about, because I know I have a machine, but it's like behind a bunch of stuff. Yeah. My favorite trick is to take the Stitch Witchery or the iron-on fusible webbing stuff. Mm-hmm. You get, you know, local Joanne, Michaels, wherever, and you just put it between 2 layers of fabric and a hot iron, and it'll stick them together. Oh. So depending on what you're going to be doing with it, you can get heavy duty stuff, like heavy duty. Once you've ironed it, it's not coming apart. Okay. And you know, if you do it so that part ends up like between the fabric and the crochet,
it's just the liner's just stuck to the crochet.
Well, that's what I would do to make the pouch, and then usually I do run just one line of sewing to sew it in. But then in terms of like stretching the pouch itself, like pulling out a big machine in like minutes, just an iron, done.
Nice. Yeah, Marie had one where she used duct tape. Did you ever see that one?
I did not see that one.
She created fabric out of duct tape and then cut it into the shape of the bag liner and then just taped the sides together.
I think that's so smart though.
Right?
Bite down, you know, if it got damaged or something, to rip it out.
Right?
That idea.
I know, and it just slips in. It's like this nice stiff liner that just slips right into the bag.
So clever.
It's pretty cool. So I was showing Tamara earlier, for those of you who weren't around, I was showing her what I did. This was from like 2 years ago at conference or something, or maybe a year ago, I don't know, but we got, it's been a long time. But we got some It's a Wrap Rainbow, Red Heart It's a Wrap Rainbow in our goodie bags. And I had some left over that I never did anything with, and I ended up weaving with it. So I'm going to get up and grab it. Hang on. I took this off the loom yesterday. So for those of you who weave, that is all the loom attachments and stuff. And it still has to be finished. Like I still have to do the fringe and wash it and everything. But this is where the colorway started out, with that really light, like white. This part's scrap yarn, so ignore that. But that really light white color. And then it just changed like really subtly. And I loved that.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it nice? And it's so easy. This is like a super easy weaving pattern. Literally, once you get the loom set up, the way you weave, you raise a harness, and then you send the shuttle through, and the harness is attached to certain strings. So to weave this, you literally raise 1, go through, raise 2, go through, raise 3, go through. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. And it's reversible, because this is the one side, which is what we call west facing, because more of the west yarn is showing. And then this is the reverse side, where more of the warp yarn is showing. So you get one that really shows off the It's a Wrap Rainbow, and the other one where it's kind of subtle. And I took it off yesterday, and with weaving, you can't see what it really looks like until you take it off the loom. And I was like, oh my God, it's great. I was so excited. So that's going to be one of my favorite weaving yarns now.
Yeah.
I should stick a link in here. I will do that when I share it on Facebook. And you guys, if you want to go check out any of these yarns, I put a link in the comments. It is an affiliate link. So I get, I don't know, like a couple pennies if you buy something from it. But you can go to Yarnspirations with that link and you can buy anything from there and it will still apply. You don't have to have a link specifically to that product. I don't know what else.
There's so many yarns to explore anyway, like we were just saying.
I know, right?
Oh, yarns there now. And I think that's really cool, honestly. You know, so you don't have to like go to the Red Heart site to buy this and the Yarnspirations site to buy this and blah, blah. And I have all those yarns there. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is Coats and Clark, parts of Coats and Clark came with the Red Heart acquisition. It's very complicated and I'm not sure I understand all of it. There's like UK stuff, US stuff and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, they don't tell me everything. But if you keep looking on the site, if you go to thread, it's not just like Aunt Lydia's. They have sewing, like all-purpose sewing thread. They have embroidery floss. They have zippers. I don't have it over here, unfortunately. I wish I did. They have the coolest product, and I've been meaning to talk about it on one of my own lives. It's a special thread. It only comes in, I think, a couple colors. I've got it in black, but it's just a regular. It looks like a regular spool of thread, but if you heat it up, like I use my steam iron on it, it kind of melts. So if you have, I have a problem with my coats, my winter coats. My buttons are constantly falling off my winter coats. Boom.
Oh, so it like fuses.
It fuses the thread. That button's not going anywhere. I mean, I would have to work to get that button off now.
Dude, I need that for my husband's work shirts. I'm constantly replacing the buttons on those things.
Right? I don't know what I do to your coats, but the buttons are just constantly falling off. Like the sort of like the double-breasted trench style of coat, you know, so there's a lot of buttons. And I'm always like pockets full of buttons, just trying to like tie it on. Yeah, I just went back through and sewed the ones back on and went over the ones that were almost coming off. Boom. Totally taken care of. It's product. So yeah, definitely explore the site.
What is that called? Do you know it?
I will grab it.
I'm sorry, I put you on the spot.
No, that's right. I want to grab it. I'm going to get the right name.
Okay.
La, la, la.
So Brianna and Kathy, you guys are the only ones watching us right now. Any questions for Tamara while we've got her? Go ahead and put them in chat if you have questions.
Okay, so it's called Sakura. It's by Coats, and it's heat activated button thread.
That is cool. Okay, so it's meant for buttons.
It's meant for buttons. I mean, I guess you could use it on other stuff, but yeah, you just sew it on, then steam it, like with your iron, or if you've got a steamer or whatever. And it kind of basically just, it's a polyester self-bonding thread.
Nice. I bet you could use that for anything that's waterproof too. Like if you were making a raincoat or something like that and you needed it to seal the holes.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could give it a try. I'm not
we don't know if it'll work, but
you could give it a try. It's not like weirdly thick or anything. It's just thread size.
That's cool.
And it's soft. It feels like regular thread. And then you hit it with that steam and
nice.
Stuff.
So it's not like a coating. It's just what the thread is actually made of.
It's just, it feels like regular thread right up until.
Very cool.
Until you steam it. So I know. That's what I'm saying. There's just so many cool things. Like who knew,
I know, right? Yeah, it must be nice to have like the whole array of. You've got like the whole yarn world at your fingertips now.
Oh, it feels like it. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So what else are you working on? What's works in progress? Give us some sneak peeks.
Well, I am working on right now. I have a top that will be out later this month. I can say later this year. Everything's later this year. Later this month. In Patons Grace, I did a handkerchief cocoon recently in this yarn, and I really enjoyed working with it. So I wanted to do a summer top. Had a lot of requests, so I chose these colors. Aren't they pretty? I don't know if they'll show up on camera. It's like blood.
It's like mint and blush and grayish.
Yeah, blood. It's kind of pink, gray, and white, basically, or off-white.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I don't know if it shows up on camera very well, but I love the way it looks. And it's going to be one of those really simple tops, 2 panels over the shoulders, sew them together in front and back. But I did this for the shoulder detailing. So when you fold it over, then that'll be the shoulder.
Oh, cool.
And then you sew. This one's obviously not finished, so it'll be wider. Although I'm not making it in my size. I'd love to, but I'm pressed for time, so I'm making it my daughter's size because she's smaller.
Yeah.
I can make the smallest size for her and get it done. And she could use new clothes too. But yeah, and then you just like sew in front and sew in back and sew the sides then, and you got it done.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I love it. And it's easy. It looks like it'd be really easy.
Yeah, for sure. It's just double crochets and chains, but I love the effect of, you got the open shoulder and solid where you need it.
We did get a question,
Okay.
but I don't think this is in your wheelhouse. I think this is a different department. She says, can you explain why some Yarnspirations goes to different stores and is not available everywhere?
Yes.
Okay.
I can actually. It's not that Yarnspirations doesn't want to send it every single yarn they make to all the stores. It's up to the stores. The stores have limited shelf space. Their buyers come in and meet with every yarn brand out there meets with the buyers, and the buyers say, okay, we'll take this one, and this one. And we only want these 10 colors of each of those. It's totally up to the store. Like I say, I'm sure all the yarn companies would love to have all their yarns at the stores,
I think that's true of every product, isn't it? Like even grocery stores carry some of this brand of stuff, but not all of it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. There's limited shelf space, unfortunately. And we all know how, unfortunately, many of these yarn stores, or big box craft stores, I should say, have shrunk their yarn departments.
Right.
They're always eliminating an aisle or that end cap. So it's a big competition for space. It's totally.
And meanwhile, the field of the yarns available has just ballooned. I mean, it used to be each brand had like 5, probably more, but it felt like 5 yarns that you really saw. And now it's like, oh, there's 30 different yarns to choose from, and it's so you can make a new thing. You can use a new yarn with every single project and never repeat in your whole life. I really think you could.
Absolutely. I could probably go a couple years just Yarnspirations alone.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so we have some new guests. You guys, there is a chat button. It's a little chat bubble down at the bottom. If you have any questions for Tamara, go ahead and type them into the chat. Or me, yeah, why not? I can answer questions too. We're probably wrapping up pretty soon though. I think we touched on everything. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes and then
yeah. No, but in terms of if there's a yarn that you spotted at the online, honestly, I would say watch for sales. There's always some sort of sale going. And if you are going to go ahead and order yarns you love, ordering from the company can be a really great way to go if you are already familiar with that yarn, because you're more likely to get, especially if you're ordering multiples, you're more likely, and you've held up the packages yourself. Those are all going to be one dye lot. Yep. You're not going to be digging through at the store trying to, oh gosh, I found 5, again. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so ordering from the yarn directly from the yarn company can be a really great way to get those dye lots, especially when it's a yarn you're already familiar with. But while you're there, then peek around and maybe add that one skein of that one you're curious about. And if you love it, or you just, there's a yarn you love you can't get in stores, you got to let the stores know. That's where the pressure's got to be. Like I say, every single one of the companies would love to have their entire supply in the store.
Well, and you know what else people can do? You have a Yarn Love series is it on your blog or is it in your email? I don't remember.
It's, I do everything on my blog, and then the emails primarily.
Okay, so if there's a yarn you're curious about that you haven't had a chance to get your hands into and it's not at your local stores, see if Tamara's done a review of it. Because you go into how it looks, how it feels, how it works up, what kind of projects it's good for. I love your yarn reviews. I mean, because there's a lot of yarns there I haven't worked with. So that's how I pick my yarns sometimes.
Well, and I mean, even if I haven't had a chance to work with it yet, I can, when I'm doing a live or something, let me know. If I have it, I'll pull it up and hold it up and show you the squish. And, at the very least, we can take a closer look. I'm doing those yarn reviews all the time because it is hard. And there are so many things online, and you don't want to miss out on them just because they're not in stores. That's not really anybody's fault.
Right. Well, and Tamara's blog is moogly.com. Oh, we got a question. Oh, another comment from Kathy. It says, I wish there was a way to have a squishiness score.
I try to, it's like you can see it's not squishy.
Yeah, it's not particularly, but it's got a really good stitch definition.
Yeah. exactly.
Yeah.
There's different, oh, here's some red heart with love, see? Beach. You can see the soft.
Okay, so we need a squishy scale that
Yes.
goes from a 1 for like a kitchen cotton up to
Or-
maybe a 10 for like a superwash merino.
This would be
Oh yeah, that would be like a 0
yeah.
in squishiness.
Zero
There
squish.
we go. That's a 0 in squishiness. Yeah.
You don't want everything.
Squishiness is not everything.
No.
Squishiness is not everything. You don't want a squishy yarn for a tote bag, frankly, because it's just gonna like when you put something in it.
Yeah. Or a basket. I mean, you can use squishy yarn. You gotta use that smaller hook and make the stitches tighter, which is good advice anyway. But yeah.
Okay, you and me will develop a squishiness scale.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. I think that's everything. So we are gonna wrap it up. And Tamara, I'll see you later this month, I think, right? When we do Crochet Chat Live at some point.
Yes. I think we're thinking the 25th.
I think so. I lost track.
Yeah.
We have to figure it out, you guys, because so far we have been using Zoom webinar and we are not going to have access to that after the 23rd. Frankly, because it's just too expensive. So we're going to try and switch it to a regular Zoom meeting and see how that goes. So we're still figuring out, but I think we're set for the 25th at noon.
Okay. I think there's some other options too we might be able to explore. But I think
we'll figure it out.
Google's offering a new free meetup thing too that might work out. We'll have to try it out.
Ooh, I actually use that for my D&D games.
Hmm.
Yeah, that works pretty well, I think. Yeah, we can look at a couple options.
For sure.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
You too. Bye.